I'm talking about all organized religion. Exclusive groups created to manage control. A dealer is getting people hooked on the drug of hope.
That's intense.
Yep. What up, Misfits? We are doing another video. So this is 2 videos in a row.
Yeah.
We just got finished filming the last video, and we're doing another video because I have been terrible about putting out weekly videos. So here's another reaction video for you. For Mr. Robot, it's a scene in Mr. Robot. Now, you don't watch Mr. Robot, do you?
Nope.
Okay. So it's a scene in Mr. Robot. I don't even watch Mr. Robot, but I've seen a couple of the scenes in that show, and it actually looks like a really good show. I'm pretty sure the actor in this, can't think of his name right now, but he won a Golden Globe for it. So pretty killer acting, pretty killer show. And somebody requested this. I don't know who. I think the comment got a ton of likes. So when I watched it, I was like, this is amazing. I really want to show my dad this and just get his reaction on it. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Mr. Robot, God Rant scene. So here we go.
God can help you.
Is that what God does? He helps. Tell me, why didn't God help my innocent friend who died for no reason?
Now that's, I'm stopping it there because that's a pretty good question already.
Mm-hmm.
So why didn't God stop his friend from dying for no reason?
One of the things that I think is a misconception about people, because lots of times we in the Christian world say that God is in control.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, God is in charge. Now, what's the difference? He created us with free will.
Yeah.
And He will not override our freedom to choose to do something opposite of what He would desire us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people make choices, and then those looking on wonder, or those looking on, they wonder, where was God? Why couldn't God stop him?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how God set it up, for us to have free will so that we could experience love.
Yeah, and that's really the thing. I actually just got finished with a study on free will,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working on a study on the neuroscience behind free will.
Wow.
But one thing that I realize is that whether you believe in God or not, you can't have love, true love, without free will. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. And you all can argue that as much as you want. And I would love to hear your arguments if you are against free will. It would help me on my case study. So let's continue this.
Why didn't God help my innocent friend who died for no reason, while the guilty roam free? Okay, fine. Forget the one-offs. How about the countless wars declared in His name?
Now I'm stopping it a lot because it's not a long scene, but he brings out a lot of good points.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the other point, he talked about the guilty roaming free. When there's, yeah.
Right, I caught that as well.
And also the what he just said about religion starting a ton of wars.
Mm.
He's
Right.
caused.
Yeah. Well, this is the first one. We can address the first one, the guilty run free. The question is everybody innocent?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question.
Well, I mean, there's
Truly innocent.
yeah.
I don't know anybody that is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand the scriptural context of that being that everyone has fallen short of the glory of God.
No, that's not what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of the fact that when we say someone is totally innocent, the question is, were they really, or is that our perception that they were innocent? Did they have an inkling something was wrong? Did they have a premonition something was wrong? Did they have something within them?
But I think he's talking about more of an extreme. Like, I mean, the next thing he talks about is wars. So,
Okay.
I think he's talking about more like and I haven't seen the show, so I could be wrong about this, but I think he's talking about more like murderers are roaming free, or,
Sure.
rapists.
Right.
And then there's guys who haven't even committed, like they were framed and they're in jail or something.
Oh, sure. Well, the fact is that happened because we live in a corrupt world. And so people end up like somebody being framed and going to jail when they didn't commit it. And I mean, that's happened here with DNA testing that comes out, and people have been tested and it hasn't been them.
Yep.
And they've been framed. So, yeah, I mean, I totally understand the fact that it can happen to people. So, and as far as wars being started, everybody believes something, and they believe something to be true. And generally, when you back somebody in the corner, they're going to settle on something that's a core belief, and they'll fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care whatever faith they're in. It's just because they have come to believe this, even if it's wrong, they've come to believe it as something that they think is true, and then they'll fight for it. So, as far as God starting wars, God is a peaceful God.
See,
He
that's
really is.
But okay. But that's the question. Yeah, in the Bible it says he's the God of peace.
Right.
But if that's the case, then why has so many wars started in the name of God?
Yeah, and that's a real challenge to answer. I mean, you can give different reasons, like a just war, a non-just war theory. I'm under authority from my government, therefore I support my nation. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to come about those, and you can actually have biblical support for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So really, to me, it goes back to your conscience, because you're gonna have to live with yourself. And I've known people that have come out of the army that have served tours in Iraq and so forth, and once they've come out, they have actually grown or become a Christian or grown in their Christian faith, and they've told me, I couldn't go back in and do the things that I did with the understanding that I have of who I am in Christ. They made a switch over. So I think religion is different than relationship. And religion is just rules and regulations, and that is called church today, and it's really not. It's just another organization.
Mm-hmm.
And true Christianity is when you're in a relationship with God. He's alive. You read His Word, you pray, you hear back, you get direction, meaningful, purposeful, and totally different. So I can believe that religion has started wars because it's not based on relationship.
All right.
Yeah.
We could go more into that, but that's a different video.
That's right.
All right. Continue.
Okay, fine. Let's skip the random meaningless murder for a second, shall we? How about the racist, sexist, phobia soup we've all been drowning in because of him? And I'm not just talking about Jesus. I'm talking about all organized religion. Exclusive groups created to manage control. A dealer is getting people hooked on the drug of hope.
That's intense.
Yeah.
My response is that Jesus did the opposite of what he was describing or crediting that God does.
Which is what?
Which is he stopped murderers. People that were involved in sexual immorality, he loved them in the right way. He put value on them and said, that kind of lifestyle doesn't benefit you, it hurts you, and come and follow me and you'll be a different person. He's accrediting again God being in control
Mm-hmm.
rather than in charge, where we participate with him to make decisions.
Gotcha. So he's talking more of a religion than a relationship.
That's my view of the
Yeah.
matter, yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
His followers, nothing but addicts who want their hit of bullshit to keep their dopamine of ignorance. Addicts afraid to believe the truth, that there's no order, there's no power, that all religions are just metastasizing mind worms meant to divide us so it's easier to rule us by the charlatans that want to run us.
Same thing there? Or?
He's saying that we're, in a sense, being brainwashed.
Yeah.
Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
So,
He's saying that there's, religion plants a seed in our head, and then it grows into this thing that gives us a false sense of hope. And that it just and there's a real world, and we have a false sense of hope, and so then we're going in and out of, in between these things, and we're like two-faced people that are starting wars when we claim to have peace, and that kind of
yeah.
deal.
It's interesting because I met a colonel in the Indian Army in India when I was in India, and he said that he had been in a lot of different settings with a lot of different religions, but he said that Christianity was the one he chose because it wasn't about them. Christianity, he said, was different because people that are authentic Christians, it's not about them, it's about God. And the second thing that got his attention was that they were always cared about others, not about themselves. And I think that's authentic Christianity, because it's not about you, it's about him, and you care about others more than you care about yourself.
Gotcha. So, I'm trying to remember what he just said.
I don't remember. You back it up and look at it again.
That all religions are just metastasizing mind worms meant to divide us so it's easier to rule us by the charlatans that want to run us.
Yeah, he's actually equating religion with a drug.
Gotcha, yeah.
But the thing about drugs is that it is a choice. Drug use is a choice, and we've slapped this definition of what I want to get the word. I can't get the word now. It's a disease, but you can actually decide that you want to be free of the disease in a different way than if you get cancer. You didn't want cancer. You didn't decide to get cancer.
Yeah.
And yet you can stop drug use. You can stop alcohol use. You can stop. And so the challenge is that it messes with your mind. And so your mind tells you can't stop. But those that have recovered, they made the choice to stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
All we are to them are paying fanboys of their poorly written sci-fi franchise. If I don't listen to my imaginary friend, why the should I listen to yours? People think they're worship some key to happiness. That's just how he owns you.
So he's talking again, just referring back to that false sense of hope, a false sense of happiness that God would give.
Yeah, basically people can pick up if someone's a phony. In reality, they might be fooled for a while, but you can pick it up. And I remember sharing with someone when they asked me, why Christianity? And one of the thing is, it's hard to deny a changed life.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the other video.
And you know what? You can't, somebody is this way and now they're this way, and they're loving. It's not phony, it's authentic. And how do you deny that? How do you question their personal testimony of the life change? That's what I say.
Yep. All right.
Even I'm not crazy enough to believe that distortion of reality. of God. He's not a good enough scapegoat for me.
And that's it.
You know what? It comes down to personal choice with everybody. You can know all the facts and you can be clear on the facts, but God waits for everybody to choose personally. And you can argue hands down that Christianity's the best over all the choices, but it still comes down to the individual choosing. That's why he set it up, so he could love us.
Well, all right. There is that video from Mr. Robot from a pastor's perspective.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the video previous to this one on words and the power of words and everything else that we talked about in that video, go ahead and check it out. Like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching. And we'll see you misfits later.
Can I do it?
Yeah, do it.
Peace!
There we go.